Hello, and we're back for one time only. And in tonight's bumper video, we're doing a rapid fire EFL Championship match week number 36 and Premier League match week number 27 predictions for the 2022 to 23 season. Yeah, back again. Here we go. And the theme of the week this time is Red Nose Day. Oh, yes, it's coming up. Comic relief is upon us nearly, and Red Nose Day is the theme. And also, for the Premier League predictions, it's the theme of the iconic play, Macbeth. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. So, let's get into my championship predictions to kick us off. We've got a Friday night kickoff between Stoke City and Blackburn Rovers. Now, obviously, we come into this with an interesting prediction last week in the Stoke game. Obviously, Stoke had that fixture against Sunderland, absolutely battering Alex Neil's former side, the Black Cats, with a 5-1 victory, and really impressive stuff from Stoke. I did not see that scoreline coming. I did predict a 3-point win for Stoke. I said 2-1. It was 5-1, so quite a battering. But ultimately, they take on a Blackburn side that, really recently have not been. They've not been, what you would expect. Really, if you look at last 3 games, their form has been very, 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 very solid. Before that draw, 4 wins in the spin, and they're sitting pretty in 4th. So they'll fancy their chances against this Stoke side. Despite that big win for Stoke, I'm going for a Blackburn victory. I think they will get the job done when it comes to it. So I'll say Stoke City 0, Blackburn Rovers 2. And goal scorers, let's go for the, likely culprits for Blackburn. And who is that? Well, that is, of course, the man who scored against Sheffield United, Pickering. And then the second for Blackburn is going to be Thomas. Right, let's move on to the game between Bristol City and Blackpool. Now, I think that after last week, Bristol City will be feeling that they can definitely get something from this game, because ultimately, last week against Huddersfield, it was a boring 0-0 draw, and they also had a match up against a very, determined and tricky Cardiff side. And, Bristol City, that's 2 draws on the spin now, so I think they're going to be looking for victory. But they do face a Blackpool side that they've been struggling, but they lost the last time out in that match. And ultimately, look, it's very sad, the recent news of the fan from Blackpool. We hope that those involved and the family involved are, in peace. It's a very, very difficult time for them right now. But Blackpool are desperate for the points. I think Bristol City will get it, though. Bristol City 2, Blackpool 1. Now it's a game between Birmingham and Rotherham, as the teams in 19th and 18th clash. It's a huge game, really. The kind of gap to the bottom 3 is sitting at around about 7-8 points now. So they need wins, both of these teams, to just make sure that they're not in a big thick of things with the relegation battle. Cardiff are currently 6 ahead of Blackpool, so if they just start dropping off, it could easily swing the other way. But I think Birmingham will get the result here, 1-0 against Rotherham. Then we've got Burnley against Wigan. Got to back Burnley for this one. They're the home side, and they are superior this season and looking to get to 80 points, and I think they'll do it. 2-0 win against a struggling Wigan Athletic, still bottom of the table on goal difference. Now it's Coventry-Hull, and I'll say a Hull victory. I think Coventry last time out were very good for their 3rd win on the bounce. They're looking pretty good, and they're chasing down those teams in the playoffs in 8th position, the Sky Blues. Above, of course, West Bromwich Albion and my team Watford, who've dropped down to 10th, depressingly, after the midweek results. So, look, ultimately Coventry are on a good run of form, But I see this game as Hull's victory because they're starting to, impress me. Although they did draw last time out, I think they've got some ability in that team, and I think Tete is going to be a big player for them. So I will say Hull City with a shock win, Coventry 0, Hull 1. Then it's Preston against Cardiff. Now, ultimately, I think this is going to be a bit of a dead rubber. Preston this season have been decent, but they've had a lot of 0-0 draws. Cardiff, on the other hand, a bit inconsistent and losing last time out. I think ultimately that they just need a bit more consistency. I don't know. It's a tricky one, but Cardiff actually did win last time, so I'm not sure why I thought they lost. Yeah, I've had a stinker there, to be fair. The form table is furthest to the right is their last game, so apologies if I got the last few teams wrong. But yeah, Hull won their last game, that's what I thought. Whereas this game, Preston Cardiff, will go for a draw, 1-1 on the day. Then we've got QPR Watford. Obviously, new manager bounce for Hornets. Let's hope so. Chris Wilder in charge of the Hertfordshire Hornets, and 11 games, save our season. It's been a mess. It's been another 3-season manager, nightmare, basically. And I believe it was the right decision for Bilic to go, but it is still crazy the amount of managers we get through. However, it's logical. 11 matches left. This season's been a write-off, and we've got 4 points separating us from the playoff places. Now, I know that there's a lot of teams in between us, on very similar points, like West Brom, like Coventry, like Millwall. But still, you've got to believe, you've got to just keep your fingers crossed that something happens and we go on a really good run under Wilder. And that run, my friends, has to start here against a QPR side who, look, this season they've been pretty dreadful. And Gareth Ainsworth has come in and they still lose games. So we've got to carry that run on and win a away game. It's not been a while since we've done that. So come on, you Horns. But fingers crossed. I'm not that optimistic, though. I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. QPR 1, Watford 1. QPR's goal scorer is going to probably be the likely candidate that is, let's say, he actually did score in the match at Rotherham. It's Jamal Lowe after he, famously scored that goal and celebrated in front of the GoPro at Watford for Ben Foster. He will get a goal, Jamal Lowe, on the 39th minute. We often start slow, but we'll pick up a much-needed point and a bit of hope for Wilder that we can get back to the right ways and start winning very, very soon and get back into the playoff picture with a late equaliser from Ismail Assar on 89 minutes. Now, moving swiftly on, back to the fixture list for the Championship. And now we've got a match between the likes of Reading and Millwall. I think this will be a Reading victory. I think despite their recent upturn in form, I think Millwall will lose this one. And I don't think that Reading will keep quiet Tom Bradshaw because he's been a really good run of form. But after losing their last two, Reading have to bounce back. Reading 2, Millwall 1. Then we've got Sheffield United Luton. Sheffield United, they're looking good. They're 7 points ahead of Middlesbrough, who are in third. So they're going to want to wrap up automatic, and they're going to win this one. Sheffield United 1, Luton 0. Then it's Swansea Middlesbrough. I'm going to back Middlesbrough because they've been so strong all season. We'll say 1-3 to the Borough. Then it's West Brom Huddersfield. We're going to say a West Brom win, as you would expect, 2-0 to the Baggies. And finally, we've got Norwich against Sunderland. Not so long ago, this was a Premier League fixture back in the, 16-17 season. So, 15-16, I should say. Norwich got relegated that season, as did Newcastle, but not Sunderland. They got relegated the following season. So, I'm going to say Norwich City 1, Sunderland 2. I think this Sunderland side, despite Norwich being up there as well, this Sunderland side, as much as it would be a bad result for Watford's sake because we dropped points against QPR, Norwich can be a bit up and down. And, they have won a few games recently, but you just never quite know with the Canaries. So that's my predictions. 2-1 to Sunderland to wrap up match week 36. Right, without further ado, let's get straight into the Premier League action. We've got Bournemouth against Liverpool, I'm going to go for Bournemouth 0, Liverpool 2. Then we've got Everton Brentford, Everton 2, Brentford 2. Leeds Brighton, Leeds United 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 3. I think this game's going to go ahead. It's snowy in Leeds, but it'll be fine. Leicester Chelsea, 2-1 to Chelsea. Then Tottenham Forest, 3-0 to Tottenham. Then Palace Man City, Palace 0, Man City 2. Then we've got Fulham Arsenal. This could be a great game, but it will end Fulham 1, Arsenal 1. Man United Southampton, 2-0 to Manchester United. West Ham Aston Villa will go for a 1-0 Aston Villa away win. Newcastle Wolves will say a 1-1 draw here. Brighton Palace will go for a 2-0 to Brighton. And finally, Southampton Brentford, we're going to go for a 3-1 win to Brentford away from home. That wraps up my Premier League predictions for match week number 27 and my Championship predictions for match week number 36. Hope you have enjoyed. Smash a like on the video if you're new around here. And the next video I do will be in a while. I've got a busy kind of few months, but we will be back at some point very, very much in the distant future. But hope you have enjoyed. As I say, get your score predictions in the comments below. It's 3 points for a correct outcome and 7 for a correct scoreline. I'll see you next time. Have a great one.